Alrighty, y'all, welcome to the Ellis Mowers channel. Y'all have seen this mower before, but we got to do a little bit more work on it before we get ready to sell it. This is, y'all got, well, I was saying on my Instagram page at Ellis Mowers 09, y'all have given me some positive feedback about this mower. Number one, you don't really see a lot of these. The beige LT1750 limited edition Craftsman's, let alone with an electric PTO on them with the 42-inch deck. So y'all really like this mower from what I've seen, and you're gonna get to see a little bit more of it because something happened to it when I was testing it. Nothing bad, hopefully we'll get this thing fixed pretty quickly. I had to do a little bit of research on it just to see what we had going on. I'll tell you what's happening with it. Crank it up, runs great. I was having an issue with the switch not firing on it, but I can show y'all that, well, hopefully it won't do it now that I'm gonna. So y'all can see that the switch is working fine. My issue now is I cranked it up, got it running, fired up the blades to see if they work. They were working fine. I cycled the ignition off because I was testing the ignition switch and testing to make sure that the PTO switch was disengaging like it was supposed to inside it, because I think that's where it was the issue was happening, where it wouldn't fire up, because it wasn't an ignition switch issue, because I swapped out a good switch for it and it still didn't work. Anyways, it was warm. I cycled it a few times. And the PTO stopped engaging. You could hear it click and lock whenever you tried to engage it. So I know that the switch is working. You don't hear any belts, like belt noise. It's not burning rubber or anything like that. So I know that the PTO is not clicking and engaging the blades. Because if it was engaging and I had something locked on the deck, then I would have had a smoke show. So yeah, let's work on this thing. I had to do a little bit of researching because I didn't realize that PTO switches were adjustable. Shows you that I've been working on a lot of lever operated basic lawnmowers. I haven't really gotten into the commercial stuff or the PTO stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop down in here and we're going to take a look at what we got. I think I'm going to jack the mower up a little bit, and we'll pop down here and see if we can get this PTO clutch adjusted. Catch you in just a second. Alright, so let me show you what's up here. I took the 5/8 inch bolt out. I needed a 1/2 inch impact to do that. The 3/8 one wasn't powerful enough. Of course, I don't really have the best equipment in the world either, so that doesn't help matters. So I've got the PTO, and they got the shaft here. I'm trying to disconnect it from the PTO clutch, which I'm unsuccessful at doing at this point because I think I've got to take the deck belt off of it, which involves me having to lower the deck and whatnot. But I'm gonna take off my switch here for the PTO, just unplug it. I think there's a tab on the top that I've got to pull. Yeah, there's a tab on the top there that I have to pull up, which I could probably do with a screwdriver. Maybe I can just do it with my finger here. We'll see. There we go. Pull up the tab, pull out the plug, and just remember the orientation of the PTO, because, oh, I just broke it. Darn. I'll have to get some pliers or something to get it out. It's been in there a little while. It wants to stick. Either way, I'm going to get that plug out, and then the next steps are going to be to get this belt off. Sorry, y'all. Get this belt off so that I can pull the remaining part of the clutch down, which I actually just did. How about that? Pull. I need 2 hands for this, but y'all saw what I did. And just pull it out. Remember the orientation of the PTO clutch, and also because it locks into place down there on the bottom, it locks into that little locker down there on the edge. And we're gonna see if we can figure out how to adjust this thing, and I'll get back to y'all in just a second. So here's a look at the PTO clutch. You can see it's pretty dirty here on the inside of it, and as well as the outside of it. So I'm gonna get this dirt cleaned it off. And I might clean the magnet on the gap there. I don't know if I see an adjustment on this one. Just looking to see if there's an adjustment on it. Let me see what I got here, and I'll get back to y'all once I kind of learn the dealings of this clutch here in just a second. Alright, so a little word of advice to help you out with these things. Lower the deck all the way. You have like a tensioner here on this side, and so you are able to take the deck off here. And I've put the clutch back on it. Remember, you just have to line yourself with the grooves on the shaft, and then get you in this locking pin right here too whenever you put it back on. Might be best to mark it. I didn't mark it, and I had quite a time getting it back on. So again, let me just see if cleaning this PTO helps. I know that it's getting power, so we're going to find out. And again, I probably wouldn't practice the jacking practices I've used. I put some stands under it or something. But I did lock the transaxle so it wouldn't be able to roll back on me whenever I did jack it. That'd be one of the 1,000 ways to die right there. So yeah, don't follow some of my practices. Again, I am by no means a professional. I just do this on the side. I don't do it for a living, or at least as of yet. And if I ever do it for a living, it will definitely be in a much safer manner. All right, got it down. Let me get it out, and we'll test it and see if I got it right, first off, and 2, if it engages. All right, let's give this thing a test run. I'll crank it up. Out here where there's not a lot of stuff real quick. Remember, it did work when it was cold, so I do expect it to turn on unless it just completely crapped out on us. Alright, ready? Hear it click. Now you hear it not clicking. I'm just going to let it sit here for a second and see if it'll ever come on. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a strap so I can hold the seat safety down, and I'm going to see exactly what it's doing down there. It's a deck belt issue, guys. Watch this. deck belt. How about that? It's not a PTO. Hey, the PTO did need cleaning though, so I mean, yeah guys, looks like it needs a deck belt. Let's see if we can get it to go again. See if it'll engage again. Now, deck belt gets hot and then it stretches a little bit. PTO spinning. It's just not enough tension on the deck belt to spin the deck belt. Oh, that's a relief though. I thought it was a Alright, so apparently it looks like the deck belt is too loose on this for the PTO to engage, which I was kind of thinking that it might be, because I thought that belt should be tight all the time, and I don't remember putting a deck belt on this, so that is a relief. I thought it was a PTO, but it is a deck belt. It appears, because the spring tensioner is all the way back, and it's still pretty loose. So, wonder if I put the wrong deck belt on it, or because it's fitting, the PTO's working. So let me grab the model number. Should be an easy fix, guys, as long as it works. Man, that PTO had me fooled though, because why would it not spin the belt and lock up like that? So it's 917272220 is my model number, and the year is 9/21/2000, so September of 2000. All right, so let me order a deck belt for this. Put a deck belt on it. That should solve our PTO issue, because the deck belt's loose on this one. So when I get a deck belt, I'll catch y'all on the other side. Alright, so here's the belt for the mower here. 144959 is your part. I think it's a little bit, I don't know if it's a little bit shorter or a little bit longer than the others. Get my blankets out so I don't tear my knees up. Alright, so let's do this. These ones with the PTOs have a little tensioner spring right here on one of the pulleys. So you can pull that up and change the belt on it. And that's the best way to go about it, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and do that. It's pretty relatively easy to do, I think. I got it back on after I put the blade spindle on. Didn't really have any issue. And this belt obviously is a little on the loose side as well. So I'll just be able to work it off. What I could also do is take this cotter pin out the back here. And pull this tensioner spring. I'll show you all on camera here. Pull this off, which will release the tension of the spring on the tensioner pulley there. You can see that the spring is in good shape. It's not stretched or broken. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll need two hands. I'm sorry I'm in front of the camera. Pull it out, pull it up. That gets that off. Pulls your tensioner spring, the tensioner back. You can easily get the belt off like that. So get on the front pulley. Sides over there, I'll try and get it around the belt guide. It is a little tricky to get off with the belt guide on, however it is possible. Just have to kind of fiddle with it a little bit. That's what a belt guide is there for. Just to keep the belt on. So there we go. And around the front pulleys here is a couple of guides. I don't know if I can show y'all there. Probably can't see it because it's too dark. But I made the mistake one time of putting it around the outside of the guide instead of between the guide and the pulley. Shredded the belt to shreds if you watch one of my other Craftsman videos. So I got it off of that pulley. We'll just get it off of this last pulley here. Again, you'll feel the guides whenever you pull it up and out. There we go. Pull the belt out the front. And ta-da! So here's the old belt. As you can tell, it's in pretty good condition. It's probably happened is that it's probably stretched out a little bit over time to the point where the PTO is no longer engaging. As you can see, there's really no cracks or hardly any wear in it. So I'll compare these two belts and make sure that this belt is marginally shorter, which should solve our PTO issue, and get this thing running, cutting. It's already running, just needs to cut and get it sent on down the line here. So let me check I'll need two hands to check these belts just to make sure that they are the Kevlar one. I got the Kevlar one. It was like $2 more online. It was $10 versus $8. So I figured that the Kevlar one would be a little bit more rigid and wouldn't stretch as easily. So let me make sure that the belts are good. I'll put the other belt on. Try to do my best to show y'all how to put it on, and we'll give this thing a test. So I just checked the belt. The belt is definitely a little stretched. So, which for a regular lever blade engage for one of these Craftsmans would probably be fine, but with the PTO and whatnot engaging it, it's not, because it's kind of on a fixed system with the tensioner pulley. So what I'm going to do, the new belt, I'm going to feed through the middle, in between the two guides of the mower here for the deck. remember your spring is going to go under, or excuse me, it's going to go over the belt. So you want to make sure you thread your belt under the springs here. And go ahead and start popping it in pulleys and whatnot too if you want to. Just watch around your belt guides and whatnot. There we go. Doesn't really matter what pulley you put on first or last because you have the tensioner spring off. It's not going to make that big of a deal. Just remember that the V-rib portion goes inside the pulley for your spindles and your crank, and then on the outside, the flat part goes around the other two guides. So that's the way it goes. I am going to do the guide on the right side last because what I want to do is get the belt in this tension, or into this cover, the one that has the cover on it over here first, just so that we're not battling that. And again, you don't have to take the cover off to get this belt in. It's just a little bit of a tight fit. So we're gonna pop it in here. You gotta get it over that bolt. There we go. The bolt for the spindle that holds the spindle and the pulley on there. So got it over that. That's good. So now I'll put it on the crank. And again, I've got the tensioner off here. So, and I've got the deck lowered to the lowest it'll go as well. Remember to put it around the guide, put it in between the guide and the pulley. You don't want to be burning up pulleys here or burning up belts. I made that mistake. That was a $10 mistake. Luckily, I made my money back on it. And then some. You know, luckily if you make like $10, $15 mistakes here and there on a riding mower, it's usually not going to make or break you. There we go. So the belt's now on. I'll check, just double check your guides. Make sure you got them inside your guides, inside your pulleys like you need them. There's only one guide. There's only one guide on these. Some of them have two. Actually, this pulley right here has two on it. The one on the right side has two guides. So now we're on. We're going to put the spring back now, tension it back up, and we'll give this thing a test. You got to pull the mess out of it to get it back there. It's easier to do when the belt wasn't so tight. The problem is you can't get any leverage on it. Let's see. I wonder if I can do this. Probably not. I'm going to keep working on this right here, and I'll tell you how I get it on there. I don't want to waste any camera time for y'all. And then we'll give it a test. Alright, so let me show you what I ended up having to do. I ended up having to take the front mounts right there, clipping them off. Ended up having to take the height adjustment mounts. I had to take all the mounts off the deck, basically, where it's mounted at. Drop the deck down, push it forward, hook it onto the crank pulley, pull it back. Well, at that time, I attached the tensioner spring back. As you can see, I guess you can see it. It's got pretty good tension on it now. And even on the lowest setting where the belt usually is a little slack, it's very, very, very tight. So, got it on both sides. Make sure I got it through the guides and everything, which I have. Alright, so let me check the gap. Oh, got one clip here that I forgot. Oh, I forgot one of the deck mounts right there. That wouldn't have been good. Let me put that on. I'll do that on camera real quick. That way I can at least get a sense of what I had to do. You just have to take the cotter pins out. There we go. Usually it's not that easy, but on the top here, I usually like going on the top because if you go on the bottom, for some reason the deck belt decides it wants to give a little bit of slack on it. That'll work okay, I guess. The deck belt decides to give some slack. Supposed to give it a little clip area right there. Let's see if I can real quick. There we go. So now we're locked in. Alright, y'all did see that. Perfect. I'm going to check the gas, crank it up, and let's go out for a ride, why don't we? There's enough gas in it. This has got the old Kohler Pro engine in it, 17.5 horse. Great motor. If I work on a Kohler, that's the type of Kohler I want. Heard horror stories about those Courage engines. Haven't experienced one yet, but I'm sure I will at some point. Electric PTO on this too. Alright, let's try it out. Remember when I thought the PTO was bad? Just the deck belt. Let's go for a ride. Drop the deck down. Put the deck, or engage it. Oh yeah. Making sure the blades aren't turning on me. good. So what I'm going to also do is, because I've had an ignition switch trouble, I'm going to see if it'll crank back up for me. Yeah, I think I got that fixed too, which is nice. All right. Alright, so we're in good shape on this one. So, just remember, this thing actually wants to roll because it's in neutral, I guess. Or maybe it's just a more free-flowing lawnmower, who knows? That's why they make park brakes. Alright, so that's good with this one. This one is good to go. I appreciate y'all watching. Again, I thought it was a PTO clutch, but I heard it turning, saw that the belt wasn't turning, determined it was a belt. $10 later, as opposed to $100 later, I have a fixed mower that will probably sell pretty quickly. I'm going to list it for $600. Probably will sell by the weekend. Whenever I'm posting it, I am recording this on a Thursday. So yeah. I know a lot of y'all like this Craftsman, and I know that a lot of y'all wanted to or like seeing it, so y'all get a little bit of bonus time with it, and hope that I helped out some folks that were potentially having trouble with the PTO clutch, or what they thought was turned out to just be a belt. So I appreciate y'all watching. You can catch me on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers 09, or you can search Ellis Mowers. That'll get you to where you need to be, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.